Hello, everyone. This is our presentation on whether or not Pastafarianism should be accommodated in prison. My name's Sam. I work with Taylor on this presentation. He and I split up the work. As far as this presentation goes, this video goes, this first portion of the video, you'll see me presenting and speaking. And then the second portion will be him. So we kind of split up the video so you'll see from both of us. And to start, we're going to be looking at the situation in the textbook. And we see a prisoner in the Nebraska State Penitentiary System, Stephen Kavanaugh, and he is suing prison officials because he believes that while he is in prison, they are infringing upon his right and his ability to practice his religious beliefs. And he's claiming that they are not allowing him to wear the proper apparel, to practice some of their beliefs, stuff like that. So he's taking them to court, and he's within his legal right to take them to court. His religious belief is he claims to be a Pastafarian, which in their religion they believe in the divine being, which is the flying spaghetti monster, in the religion of FSMism. So basically, while he takes them to court, he sues them, and the court asks him to bring evidence. And in his presentation of his beliefs, the church has to decide whether or not this is a religion, like a sincere and true belief, and whether or not this qualifies under religion, and whether or not the prison system or the prison he is in is not allowing him to practice his beliefs. And the court actually ended up finding that FSMism is not relevant to the federal protections of a religion because it actually falls under a parody religion, meaning that it didn't fit the criteria, and it actually isn't a true and sincere belief, that it's designed to be satirical, meaning that it is not the focus is not on the belief and answering some of these questions that religions are supposed to, like these deep, imponderable questions that are supposed to be discussed and answered and such with religion. It can't do that, and it's meant to prove a point, state an argument, kind of start a conversation, whereas a real religion or a true religion, as far as the government's standards and the court standards, needs to fit the criteria and show true and sincere belief. So since Kavanaugh, did not sufficiently show how he wasn't able to exercise this religion, for one, he couldn't show that they were sufficiently preventing him from practicing his religion. He has to show without a doubt that they are more than just making, like, it has to be more than just more difficult for him to practice his religion. They have to be, for all intents and purposes, all out preventing him from practicing. And he could not sufficiently show that. He couldn't sufficiently give background information, provide evidence as to their religion, and which is why the court could not rule it as a religion, and also why they actually granted the motion to dismiss. So Kavanaugh, his complaint doesn't really contain any information on the religion, and without that, and without his ability to show the court that he is being completely prevented from practicing, they actually dismissed his case, and he lost the case. As far as FSMism and its beliefs, the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. This religion is based off of, first of all, it was founded by Bobby Henderson. He's a church founder. Excuse me. This religion is based on fundamentalism. So there is the belief of like evolutionism and our world being a product of that. And then there's also religion where it's based on fundamentalism, where they're saying that a master intellect was a part, like our world is the product of an intelligent design, and a master intellect was behind it. And because it does not specifically state who that master intellect, who or what it is, their argument is that there is no evidence against it. So they believe that the flying spaghetti monster, who's their divine being, he's their creator, he's part of their origin story, he is behind the creation of Earth. They also make other claims like that the flying spaghetti monster is the cause of gravity, that he is pushing down on us and creating that force, that because scientists cannot prove that he is not, their argument is that, okay, then he is the cause of it. So as you can see, a lot of their beliefs are starting to, if you see a pattern, they are almost making a joke or a point that, all these other things have been taken as true or scientific, or we accept these things. And so their point is, well, if you think this is real or this fits, why can't we make it anything? So that's part of their beliefs. They worship in pirate speak. So their costume, their apparel is a pirate costume. And they all, during their church or service, they would speak in pirate speak. They hold flimsy moral standards, and they take every Friday as a religious holiday. So every Friday is off. They celebrate, you can kind of see where they are also, again, the repeating joke of, or, satirical purpose with other religions. They also kind of change heaven. Whereas Pastafarian heaven has a beer volcano and a stripper factory. So obviously, see, it's a more fun, joking take on like some of the more mainstream religions, like obviously like Christianity with heaven, stuff like that. So you can see the satirical purpose behind it. Henderson, the creator, claims that because scientific and evolution theories are only theories, there is no evidence to state that he is wrong, and so therefore his basis is that because he cannot be proven wrong, there's no reason why he's proven wrong, there's no reason why he isn't right. And that's kind of where their beliefs and their following of the flying spaghetti monster lies. And that is my presentation, or my part of the presentation. Taylor's going to take it over from here. Thank you guys for listening.
Why do these Pastafarian claims by Kavanaugh matter to other people, though? In this specific case, it proposes the argument about where the United States draws the lines on religious freedoms and what defines a religion. But Pastafarianism as a whole proposes a challenge to other religions as based on pure theory that holds as much weight as a fictitious flying spaghetti monster as a deity. Kavanaugh brings up the argument asking, where do we draw the boundaries on civil liberties that are granted in the First Amendment? The First Amendment guarantees freedom of expression, religion, assembly, and speech to all American citizens. Even prisoners are afforded these rights while incarcerated. Kavanaugh brought Pastafarianism back into the limelight with his case that the prison system should provide him with things such as pirate costumes, strainers for hats, and meetings with ordained ministers of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster to uphold his religious practices. By withholding these things from him, Kavanaugh argues that he is being rejected his First Amendment rights as an American citizen, as a prisoner of the state. but his demands were rejected and they were deemed unnecessary. This raises the question of what is a religion in the eyes of the United States government. Pastafarianism is currently viewed as a religion in very few countries around the world, but there are three. These countries include New Zealand, Poland, and the Netherlands. But the United States to this day does not recognize it nationwide as a religion. In order to validate this ruling in the state of Nebraska, we must first look to the past and what a Supreme Court ruled as a definition of religion. The Supreme Court gave a definition of religion in 1944 during the court case named United States v. Ballard. In this case, Mr. Ballard was charged with fraud for asking people for money to heal them through his religious group that is commonly referred to as Ballardism. This was proven to be a standard con back in the day and is similar to the actions of some modern televangelists. Ballard was being charged for fraudulently seeking and collecting donations on the basis of religious claims that Ballard himself did not believe. However, the First Amendment does not allow for courts to inquire into the truth of religious beliefs themselves. This reversed Ballard's previous guilty ruling and also set a new standard for what is religion in the United States. This led to the Supreme Court decision that religion is a sincere and meaningful belief that occupies in the life of its possessors a place parallel to the place held by God in the lives of other persons. In simpler terms, religion is the sincere belief of God in your life and in others. According to these standards, is Pastafarianism truly a religion? Well, we're going to circle back to that in a moment. We're going to have a look back at the origins of Pastafarianism. Pastafarianism originally served as a work of satire, meant to entertain people as well as make political statements about the stance of religion. It was developed by Bobby Henderson, a young graduate of Oregon State University with a degree in physics. At the time in 2005, the Kansas Board of Education was working on implementing intelligent design to public schools and their science curriculum. Henderson developed the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster as a way to protest this decision in Kansas. Henderson wrote to the Kansas Board of Education that if they're going to include intelligent design in their science curriculums, that they must also incorporate his deity that he follows, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, in his religion Pastafarianism. Henderson argues that traditional religion is based all on theories of divine intervention, and is just as likely as a huge mass of flying spaghetti flying through the cosmos. So if they were going to include intelligent design in science classes, they should also include the Flying Spaghetti Monster. One direct quote states, "I fully expect then that this Flying Spaghetti Monster theory will be admitted into accepted science with a minimum of apparently unnecessary bureaucratic nonsense, including the peer review process." In turn, Bobby Henderson was completely ignored by the Kansas School Board. In his retaliation, he posted his letter online, which caused it to become a viral phenomenon, as people wanted to know, what is Pastafarianism? So looking back, Pastafarianism was made to mock the inclusion of religion in science classes. It wasn't an actual doctrine based on the belief of its followers, its singular followers supposedly, Bobby Henderson. It was simply a satirical fiction piece that ridiculed the Kansas Board of Education for their attempt to include creationism in their science curriculums. Doing this would be comparable to including flat earth ideologies in geography classes. Instead of just having globes, we're going to have flat maps with ice balls surrounding the earth. So if the Supreme Court defines religion as a sincere and meaningful belief that occupies the life of its possessor, a place parallel to the place held by God in the lives of other persons, then Pastafarianism could not be recognized as real religion. The founder of Pastafarianism originally produced the idea of Pastafarianism to ridicule the Kansas Board of Education's inclusion of religion in science. It was developed to highlight the shortcomings of the Kansas Board of Education and also show that this was an unnecessary change to science classes. These theories, these religions that were currently in practice, hold about just as much weight, scientific evidence-wise, as a flying spaghetti monster. So, if religion is a sincere and meaningful belief of God in people's lives, And Pastafarianism was created as a satirical joke about the Kansas Board of Education, therefore unsincere. Then, Pastafarianism isn't a religion by the standards of the Supreme Court system. I believe that the Nebraska State Penitentiary system was just in this decision. Even if it was a recognized religion, Kavanaugh's demands were not required to practice his religion of Pastafarianism. Pastafarianism's own commandments don't even serve as strict rules, but rather guidelines, as they were comically named. The 8 I'd really rather you didn't. The 8 I'd really rather you didn't didn't even serve as commandments, more as things you shouldn't do that comically reflect things that other religions do. For example, having large places of gathering like temples, synagogues, mosques, churches, when money could be going to other things like stopping world hunger, ending poverty, curing diseases, and living in peace, loving with passion. Pastafarianism served as an important piece to challenge the roles and practices of modern-day religion. But in and of itself, it is not a religion. Therefore, the Nebraska State Penitentiary system, or any prisons in the United States for that matter, should not have to respect the wishes of those practicing Pastafarianism. Nowhere in their literature does it say that they have to wear a colander for a hat, or they have to wear pirates' outfits, or that they have to meet with ordained ministers. As a matter of fact, it actually promotes individualism, and promotes going against the religious belief systems that are currently in place. So to the dismay of colander heads and pirates alike everywhere, Pastafarianism is not a religion. It's not recognized by the state. If one day a flying spaghetti monster came overhead, you better believe I'm going to put on my colanders and pirate outfit. As for Pastafarianism, that's all for this presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or my partner Sam. Thank you.